Namaste everyone. 4th of February is celebrated as World Cancer Day. The aim is to inform and encourage people on prevention, early detection, and treatment of cancer. On this occasion, we have homeopathic practitioner Dr. Sadaf Ulde, who is sharing some key facts about cancer that we all should be aware of. Dr. Sadaf, thank you so much for joining with us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Tell me, how can I help you?
Yeah, so I have some quick questions to you. So I'm jumping on to the first question without much delay. With the rise of cancer treatment, what are the risk factors and can anything be done for prevention, in your opinion?
Cancer has become a widespread disorder. Okay, so today we are living in a COVID scenario where we are worried too much about COVID, but I think more than COVID, we have a lot of people who are detected with cancer every day, and cancer deaths are increasing day in and day out. Okay, now what are the risk factors? Number one, it is the genetic family history. Okay, for now, cancer is affecting your mouth, your oral cavity, your lungs. For female, it's breast. For ovary, cervical cancer, uterine cancer, bone cancer. There is varied type of cancer. Okay, there are lot of cancerous diagnoses that are coming up, and the thing about it, it's wide. Like, there are some cancers which are quite localized and it can be treated surgically, but some they spread like this within a fraction of a second. They don't give you chance for the treatment. So what are the risk factors? Number one is the genetics. Second is a lifestyle. Also, every organ, there is a lot of organ specificity. Like lung and mouth cancer are often related to tobacco chewing, smoking. Okay, then uterine cancer, cervical cancers are often indicated in females who are above 40, and they have either there is a history of some kind of suppressive treatment or sexual histories. So the whole thing is it's a lot of wide range of causation. There are uh, researchers which say that the exposure of radiation around us is also contributing to cancerous things. Then also the kind of food we are taking in today is responsible for uh, giving a ground, ऐसे जैसे एक झाड़ होता है उसने उसको उगने के लिए एक अच्छी फर्टाइल लैंड की जरूरत होती है। तो जो हम फूड बेसिकली इनटेक करते हैं उसकी वजह से यू गिव breeding ground for cancer. Okay, so the food we take in, the uh, stress. Okay, so there was this interesting round out that in a lot of cancer cases there was a lot of unresolved grief or undemonstrated grief, undemonstrated emotions that were the cause of that we saw. Rather than I'm saying cause, I say in a lot of cancer cases, we saw a lot of undemonstrated grief, undemonstrated trauma, undemonstrated emotions were seen in people who were suffering from cancer. So, right from your emotion to the food that you intake to your environment, a lot of things are contributing to this illness. Plus, the kind of suppressive treatment that we take. Sometimes we over medicate ourselves, sometimes we under medicate ourselves. Some medicines are taken with help of experts, and nowadays, thanks to Dr. Google, people Google their own medications and they take it without informing what their health is and what is the breeding ground, and they take it on their own, and that creates the major problem. Okay, so yes, there's a lot of risk factors around us, so we have to be careful about it. And if we are not careful about it, if you're not intense in early detection and taking an expert opinion, we may end up having every house having a cancer one fine day, like how we had this whole thing with COVID. So obviously, cancer is also a kind of an epidemic. It's just that it's not like infectious, you cannot spread it. But yes, it's also a major illness in present day, that out of so many that we are suffering, cancer is one of the major health challenges.
To my second question, Sadaf. So, what are the different treatment options for cancer, and what's the scope and limitations of the same? Because we do know that there's a lot of precision therapies like radiotherapy, chemotherapy, but these are the only two things that we hear about. We are not hearing beyond this.
So, see, I believe every science, every health science is trying to deal or trying to fight illness in its own way and in its own understanding. Okay. I will not say that radiotherapy is wrong or chemotherapy is wrong or this is the only treatment. I refuse to say that. See, there are different therapies. I believe right from surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, you have something known as immunotherapy, you have something called as stem cell therapy, you have something called as oxygen therapy. Obviously other sciences like ayurveda, unani, homeopathy, every science is trying to see, is there a way to combat this illness? And I will say that if a person is affected with any kind of this illness, I feel it's high time that all the health people who are responsible for the healthcare integrate themselves, because every science has its own limitation and its own scope. Like, I'm a homeopath, so let me speak for homeopathy. So, like in allopathy, we know that the radiation therapy, chemotherapy, they are like very localized, okay, just on the cancer cell. Okay, maybe it's on a lung, maybe it's in the breast. So it's just one focus. Surgery will just remove the area of surgery, but what about the root cause of it? Okay, what about the whole ground of it? Plus, this whole diagnosis in itself can be great trauma for us. So, homeopathy works on mind and body simultaneously. So, I feel, and I have experienced that if you can integrate the therapies and then see if something can come out of it, I don't think so it's any harm in that.
So, as a continuation to your answer, so now that you're a homeopathic practitioner and you mentioned the holistic goodness of homeopathy. So, what is the scope of homeopathic medicine in treating cancer?
So, a very good question and a valid point. Like, how can homeopathy treat? And I am sure many people think, "Hey, they are just sabudani ka goli, say cancer kya theek hoga," unless and until you are using a knife. So, every time you think, unless and until you are under the knife, you cannot treat something. Okay. But the thing about homeopathy is, like, I have now 10 years of experience of treating. I have worked under a lot of professionals who are trying to see how homeopathy and cancer can work. So what I have seen is, um, see, there are different cases. Okay, in and every case will be very different. So I cannot say that okay, मैं homeopathy से cancer cure कर दूंगी, ठीक है? Because if I say that, I will be, nominated for a Nobel Prize. I'm talking about my experience. There are some doctors who have really got some amazing cures in cancer. But what I have seen in my clinical experience is there are different cases. So there are some cases in which homeopathy has been very effective to annihilate the side effects of radiotherapy and chemotherapy, and hence give a better quality of life to the patient. Okay. Then secondly, there were some cases where all the other sciences had just refused that okay, nothing is going to happen now. So the end stage palliative care was done very well with homeopathy. Thirdly, there were some cases at a very early stage they came to us and they didn't need chemotherapy, radiation, or any surgery, and they were treated. So, every patient, every case will be different. So, there are some cases which will completely cure with homeopathy. Okay, but there are some cases which requires a support of allopathy, requires a lot of different work to be done. So I think, like I said in the beginning, every science has a scope and limitation, and anyone can be open for exploring it and see how things can get. But I'm very sure if you're taking homeopathy for cancer and a light treatment, you can have a good quality of life along with whatever you are taking.
Really wonderful to know that homeopathy has done wonders. Even in your personal experience, you said a wonder.
Yes.
Okay. Now again, my next question is also on homeopathy. So, what are
Yes.
the homeopathic remedies that you would suggest? I mean, or even I can say, what are the homeopathic remedies that can help cancer patients or someone who's at the risk of
So,
cancer?
yeah, so it's a very interesting question, and it's not just for cancer. I believe for any illness. Like I get a lot of questions like, "Doc, take this so and so remedy, and for so and so condition, can I take passiflora and get sleep? Can I take Berberis vulgaris and get rid of my stones?" So my answer to this is always no. Okay, why? I will tell you. Homeopathy is a very different science compared to Ayurveda or allopathy. Now, what happens in allopathy? They have a set protocol. Lung cancer aaya, to we will give these range of drugs. Breast cancer aaya, to these range of drugs, and they're done. But for a number of remedies, out of which we have to come down to one remedy that will help you. Okay, and not necessary that what remedy helps you will help me, and it isn't for any other condition. Suppose for example you and me, we both have throat cancer. Okay, for example, god forbid it never happens, but if at all we both are suffering from cancer, okay, your remedy will be absolutely different and my remedy will be absolutely different. Okay, there is also a possibility, for example, I have cancer and you just have a migraine, so there is also a possibility that our both remedies are the same. So homeopathy is never a disease equal to a remedy. For us to give a treatment, we need to understand what's your background, who are you, how are you perceiving your illness, how are you perceiving your reality, how are you perceiving your situation, how are you reacting in a situation, what are your stresses, who are you as a person, you know, how is your illness developing, was it all of a sudden, or was it just there for a long time, or is it very aggressively, is there a very good range of family history, you know, what were the illnesses before this illness, what were the medications you have taken. So we have to basically, जब आपको एक homeopathy के पास बैठते हो तो you have to take full kundali with you and sit, you know, right from your chief complaints to your past history, family history, your nature, your stresses, your life situation, everything. And once you understand that, and then the remedy is prescribed, it will work. But rather than taking something which we just find it on internet, okay, there are the remedies, and but I'll say no, it never happens like that. If it was so easy to practice, why would we have 5 years of college, you know? And then after 5 years, why we had to work under so many doctors to, you know, get things done. So the whole essence of homeopathy is in sitting with an expert, let him or her understand who you are, what you are, and when that is completely understood, then homeopathy works.
That's a really wonderful insight, Sadaf. Thank you so much for joining us. Despite your busy schedule, you've given time for us, and that too on a very important day like the World Cancer Day. You've shared these insights, and I hope this is going to help a lot of people out there.
Thank you, Arvind. Thank you for having me here, and I hope your thought habitat really reaches out to people and people are helped with this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sadaf. Thank you so much.
Okay, chalo. See ya. Bye bye.
Bye bye.